Good morning and welcome back to the garden. It's a lovely sunny morning, a little bit of breeze, but we've had such overcast weather the last few days. We was worried whether we can have enough light to see in here, but today's a good day to do it. We're going to make a holly ring for you. We did say last week we're going to do it. I'm going to first take you through the materials I use for making these holly rings. Now, I go out foraging in, we're blessed here, we've got some woods that are actually full of holly. So I go and get bits of holly out of the wood. I have all permissions. My next door neighbour's very good, they let me have bits off their tree, which I'll show you. And the variegated holly we actually planted some years ago now, and that's really coming into its own now, so we can cut that and use the outer branches for doing the rings. Let me show you what we use. This is the variegated holly. This is what we bought. It's Ilex aquifolium, which is a lovely holly. It's kind, it's a little bit prickly, but it's kind to your hands while you're working it. It's a good holly to use. Huge in the woods, so I have to reach up to get this. But all we're interested in are those buds. They're actually after the flowers and they're forming up to make the fruits, but we need to cut them at that stage. No interest in the foliage. If you put that on your ring, it just turns black. My neighbour has this beautiful blue spruce, and they let me clip a few bits off it for making the rings, but we only use small bits, so we don't need a lot. But it really does show up on the rings, the blue against the green. Conifer. This is actually off our own conifer, up at the top near the studio there. There's a little bit of yellow in it and blue, but what I find that not so much that one. See, that's nice and green, so we can have it that way or that way. And this one, if we turn it over, it's different again, so you can get all different colours. Can you see where that one will be a blue? But if I turn it over, it's a green, so I just keep mixing it while I'm doing it. Now, to actually make the rings, what I do is I take the conifer. Once you cut it, it's finished anyway, but we just cut it like that where we can. You get used to doing this quite quick actually. And what we got down here, there's a little bit there we need. We'll take that and that one, and then that is what we use for putting on the rings to get them. The first stage is to conifer them. I'll show you shortly, so you'll see how we cut the conifer to suit. And then if you, I'll just show you, in your pile that you have of this, if you got an odd one which is yellow with the blue and the green, it makes a nice ring. I don't do all yellow in the base work of the ring because it doesn't look quite right. You have to I like to mix it and it looks well. So let me take that away and we'll move on with the next. Now the other conifer we use, and this is actually a juniper, but it's nice and fairy and fluffy. So when you're doing the finer work, which we'll show you soon, these little bits together around the holly etc. look quite nice. So if you can find one of those, it's actually a juniper, it's a ground cover juniper. I don't know its proper name obviously, but that's in my neighbour's garden. They say I can clip bits of that off. In the woods we have quite a few different coloured hollies over the berries over there. This is actually off one with yellow berries, look, too. I try not to, best as possible, not to take the berries because they are there for the wildlife, not for me. But there's different sizes, look, of leaf, which will come in when we start doing the rings. Also over there is this one, which is also yellow berried, but can you see where it's definitely an ilex, a holly, but I think there's that many hollies over there and they've cross-pollinated and all sorts over there that we get some like this. Now these are ideal for the work as well, so you could, where are we, let's see, we use this one, take those bits off. You put that one in and put that one on top of it, you see you get that nice effect, which we'll show you shortly anyway. And it's a lot kinder. But if you just tame it down a bit with some of those, look, we can do that nicely. So that's the materials we use. Now this is the greenery I use, and anything else I can see. I actually put a little bit of euonymus in there as well. I tend to use the yellow euonymus, but I'll show you this later, because it actually gets as it ages, it gets a tint of red in it, so it doesn't actually turn black. It ages with a bit of colour, so I use that. Now you can use anything you can get, but you will need some variegated olive. You can actually get a variegated olive that's got no prickles on it at all. I've actually used that one in the past as well while I was waiting for these to grow. But go and have a walk round. Your friends and neighbours say, oh, I'm just doing this, can I have a look? And providing you give them a holly ring, they'll let you do it. So I'll put these away and we'll set up for making this ring. These are the rings we're going to use, the 12-inch, and they've got these cross pieces on. Now before you start to build, make sure the cross pieces are at the top, because if you put them the other way you have all these sharps on the back of the ring, which we don't want, especially hanging it on a door or something. So make sure these cross pieces are upwards. The string I use for the straw is this one. It's like a cotton string, but it's quite strong, but you don't want it too strong. This will do nicely. And what we do to start it off is we tie it on next to one of the cross pieces. Quite simple. 3 knots. That's it. There's no need to cut that off because it will become part of the ring anyway. And then we can get going. The straw, this is actually barley straw that we purchase for the chicken nests, which is quite soft, and it's all been dust extracted, so it's easy to use. And we just take a bit in your hand. Now it's quite a messy job, so don't do it indoors. And put it on and then start going round. About an inch or so apart, maybe a bit more. Now this hand holds the straw, so you're getting it all the same thickness. You don't want it any thicker than that, look. Can you see that's thick enough? Any thicker and you'll have trouble getting the everything onto the ring. Then you just keep adding 2, but keep this hand doing the thickness for you. Go all the way round like that, look. You see? Now the thing is, once you've been round once, what I find is if you go round once and you get back to there and then go round again putting the string on, you'll find it makes a lot tidier. Now I'll finish this and then I'll come back to you. Now I've been round, I've joined the 2 up. You just put into one another with the straw and then just carry on round with your string to go round twice. Once you've done that, give it a press down. Flatten it a bit, that's the best way. Then scissors, all these spiky bits around here and sticking up on top, we just cut them off. Not too severe, just take the little bits off like that, look. Anything sticking up. But be very, very careful you don't cut the string, else you'll have to do all your ring again. Just go around twice, one this side, one that side. Just go around. I have done these several times on the blog over the years, but we'll keep going. I don't make so many now as I used to. There you are, look. Just don't be too bad, because it's going to be covered in conifer anyway. So there you are, look. Now we've got the ring, we've flattened it down well, and then this is those conifers that you saw me chopping up. Can you remember them? All different colours, look. I find it easier actually to put them on the bench and then pick them up rather than the box. I do keep the conifer outside until I use it. So this is quite cold, because it was quite cold last night. No frost, but it's quite cold. And a little bit damp as well, that's good. Now, the string. This is a cord. We bought it. It's on a huge roll. We bought it a few years ago, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a good thin cord. You can use the binding wire, but you keep putting wire around, it's it actually rusts over the time that once you've done it. So I try to keep the wire use to a minimum. So spin it over, find a wire, look, and just push that through. And again 3 times. I don't know what this cord is, but if you cut it, it will undo a little bit. So when I do cut it, I use my lighter and burn it, then it stops it from fraying. I don't know whether they've done 3 or 4 now. Turn it back. Now, to start, we just take some of this. Remember, this is what we've cut, but try and get different colours on it, like what I was saying before with the colours. Now, your first one on, remember when we get round to here, we'll need to move that up to tie that in. I'll show you that in a bit. But if you wire this side, just make this one fractionally longer than what we will the rest of it. Now another little tip, if you've got a piece of wood on it, push it into the straw and it helps hold it all together as well. But the same, those bits that we had, a bit of blue and a bit of yellow there, that's good. What you want to do as well is the side of the ring and the inside of the ring, pack a little bit extra conifer on that, and the top, remember we're going to cover the top anyway, the top just wants a thinnish layer. You see, I've got a bit of blue in that, and then we'll do this side. That's got a bit of wood on it, you see, so I'll push that in. Nice bit of yellow there. If it curls that way, put it on that way, look, so it curls with the ring. We'll do 2 or 3 turns with this. You see, that's quite woody, but if you put it in, push it in, then twist it all up, it don't look so bad. Then over with the string, 2, and this is what I do, you don't need to do this if you don't want, but hold the string up on the second turn over, put the bobbin through, not on there, don't, bring the bobbin back, and then pull, and your string doesn't slip. And then we start with the next one. What you want to think is, when this is complete, you're not only going to look at the front of the ring, but you'll also look at the side as it's hung up. So I like to put either a bit of box, or you can put a little bit of the blue spruce, if you can get it. It's difficult to get really. Or this is Picea abies. It's not a Christmas tree, it's a pine, but you can tie that in as well, and it just gives that side view a little bit better. The beauty of this one, you can turn it over and have it white if you want. It lasts well, that does, in there. But in this occasion we're using box. So we've tied that down, so we can just put the box sort of sticking up a little bit, one on the outside and one on the inside, just like that. And then we just carry on. I'll do another one and then we'll move on to closing it down that side. Remember, if it curls the right direction, use it, and don't forget to reverse 1 or 2 as well, so you get different colours. It's got a bit of wood on it, use it, push it in. I'm doing the outside first and towards the inside this time, but it's immaterial. Nice bit of yellow with it, and then change hands and do the other side. What to find is that bit of box is there, so if you put some on and mix it with the box, especially on the inside, because that'll bury nicely, but the inside tends to stick up a little bit. Now, there's a nice piece. Just keep one hand on it and keep going. Remember, the top doesn't want much, but the sides want quite a bit. One more, I think, then we can tie off that. Yeah, that's fine. So grab that, take the string over, pull it, and then on the next one over, I put the bobbin through the string and then pull it underneath, and that, try not to pull too tight, because we perhaps need to push some when we're doing the top, we perhaps need to push those under that wire, under that string, when we're doing the top. So if you pull them too tight, you won't be able to do that. So that's how you keep going round. Now obviously you'll put some more box on and some more conifer, and then off you go again, and you keep going all the way round to there. Once you get to there, you need to finish it, which I'll take it round, or I've got another one that's been taken to there, and I'll finish it off so you can see. Now, to save a little bit of time, this is one I did a blue Peter and did it previous, so you can see one nearly there. So there's the finish. It's got the box in the same. So this is where we started, and we put that little bit of longer conifer in because we need to pull that to one side like that and hold it. Then you can get your next bits of conifer and start just like we did before. Look, I've put some box in there, so we won't need to put box in this bit. Remember to build that side up though, keep your sides well built. And there, that's got a bit of wood on it, so in it goes. That one's a nice blue, we'll have that on top anyway. If they're too long, like that one, look, just snip it because we need to go in there this time. Bit of wood on that one so it can go under them. Keep going. It's a little bit time consuming doing this, but the finish is brilliant. It's well worth it. And then build your side up. Like that. Don't forget I'm holding this here. I'm holding all that away and building that underneath. Look. And when you think it's thick enough, which that is, we can go. This is a different ring. I got another bolt on this one. So it's over, back, through. Same thing as the bobbin really. Then under and pull. So that's gone over the other string, if you know what I mean. And not so tight though. And then just put it around your thumb, throw that underneath, still holding this lot, and then tie it. This is where my hands aren't so good now, you see, and pull. 3 again. And this is where I try and set fire to it all, because if I just cut it, this, I don't know what it is, it's like a nylon string, it undoes, so that's no good, it will undo. But if you just do that, and we're safe, look, because it hasn't burnt the ring this time, and then move that back. That's the ring complete with your conifer on it. Now what we do now is put both hands on it and sort of twist it over a little bit that way as you go round, but this hand is pulling that way. So you're pushing the conifer to the edges. And just look round, no gaps. There's a piece of there sticking up, I don't know if you can see it, look. Can you see that bit sticking up? So we'll take that off. Now we need to start and put the holly on, ready for putting the berries and the variegated in. We'll work as a 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. Now that's the next thing. Holly, we're going to start the first holly cluster. We'll put one here, and then we're actually going to put 3 like that, you see? 3. But we'll put the first one on, then we'll set up. So now I'm going to put on the back of it, before we put the prickly holly, if you know what I mean. We'll put these on first. So we just take those off. With the secateurs, what I do on all the hollies, if possible, is just make it sharp on the end, because it has to push into that, either the straw or under one of those strings, and that's one of the reasons why we don't bind tight. So just put that on. If you can find a string, that's even better. It's gone under a string, look, so that's nice. Try and keep them flat as you do it. So you want 2 of those on. Remember, this is that not so prickly holly, it's easier to work. And then sharp and go this side, not too tight. I'll show you in a moment. Now keep them sort of compact, because we'll finish up building on top. Then we do the prickly holly. I just strip those off. You can cut them if you want, but I just strip them off. That's it. And again, make it sharp. These are still damp from being in the forest. I actually went this morning and got these. And again, just find the wire or find the string, or if you can't find the string, if you push it into the straw it will hold, but if you juggle it, it will go in easier. And then I turn it that way. This is the other one. This one's quite prickly actually. I'll just put the sharp on, put those in there. I have to work this way on this one, and what we'll do, we'll find it. It will go in, but if you shuffle it backwards and forwards, it will go into the straw, and that's what we're looking for, you see. Now we want two of these. That one. Every piece of holly is different, doing a different job. But I'll just bang those off. And I'll just sharpen it again. It does make life easier if you make them sharp. And then this will go on top of that one. Slightly to the inside of it, to the centre. And then we want another one, which will be that one. Just take those leaves off. Sharpen it. Now I have to turn the ring every time I do this. And then that one goes in that way. Like that, look. It's in. That's good. Now, if you see that little, those 3 leaves there, what I'm after, there is a little leaf on top. I don't want that. And we'll take that one off. We'll just sharpen it. That's it. And this will actually take the holly berries onto that. Can you see? Here you are. That's what we're trying to do there, look. Now when you get to there, just press it down, not too hard because you'll break the stems. And then this is a little bit of gold. It actually smells of pineapple. I use the scissors to cut these. No, just want that little bit there. That's it. You see that little bit? Just push that in like that. And we'll have another bit for the other side. I won't need the scissors for this one. Into there, like that, look. And that's where the berry will go. The berries, these are the plastic berries, obviously, always plastic. Hopefully I've left all the berries on the tree for the... Now, when you're doing this, if you go through that at the bottom, so you, there, and the other one, you go down. Go one up and one down, if you're using these berries. and hope your eyes are better than mine. That's it, look, can you see it's come down? And then put them in the middle of your group like that, so you've got two. A little bit more wire than that though, else we'll never get it round to tie it on. He says, that's it. I'm happy with that because I've got a long piece of wire to tie this on. And then just put one knot in, you don't need a lot. Remember, don't pull too tight though, because they're plastic, and all you'll do is chop them off. But once you've got it tied on, you've got it locked for any position you want to put it. So we'll bring it to the top, and then it needs to, those two bits of gold will go up either side of the berries. So what you need to do is then shuffle your wire until it's all underneath the conifer. Just tidy it up before you turn, and then over we go. Now it's the first piece of wire that's going on this, which is good. A good pull, a twist, and what I do, I just make a twist in it. Don't know if you can see, and I twist that down. I don't cut it with the secateurs, I cut it with the snips, and with a good piece on it, look. Put that in there. Now this piece of wire sticking up, I bend over and push into the straw, so it's gone into the straw, because if it's left sharp it's going to cut somebody and we don't want that. Then bring it round, cheer it all up, and that's one of the clusters on. We'll have three clusters, which I've actually made on one, which I can show you now. This is one that I did first, so it's continuing making them. Now, can you see where those two, hang on, let me turn it your way. Can you see where those two space well, and this one is a little bit bigger, because at the end we've got to put a ribbon in this as well, so if you leave that bit of space it gives you somewhere to put the ribbon, but it's not necessary, but it's because I've done a lot, I remember it. Now excuse me, if you want cones on, they go on next. Obviously if you're doing a grave ring, you put 3 more of these clusters in, which makes a full ring of berries and holly, which look quite nice, but a lot of work. We're going to put 3 clusters of cones on, and they're 3 of 3. So we'll tie the cones on first. Plenty of wire, get a good length out, because remember you've got to tie those, then tie them on. And then with cones, it's just a case of pulling the wire into the cone all the way round if you can. Sometimes it's not always possible, but I think I've got as far as I need to get. Then when you've got it to there, just pinch it and twist it so it's on. Then likewise the next one, look, that's an easy one, look, because it's got plenty of room on it. And not too close, because you've got to twist it. So pinch them together, keep this wire in your hand out the way, and then twist till they're nearly together, and that's it. And nice. We've got those 2 nicely. Look. Then the third one, as that one was easy, this one's going to be a bit more difficult. See how it's closed up at the bottom, but we'll have to get it on. Push it in best you can, and I think that will do. It's gone in anyway. And then hold those away and your wire and twist that in. You'll find that when you twisted it a few times, it'll tighten itself in, which is good. There you are, look. And then what I normally do, move that wire out of the way, take it round the last cone's wire, it's a bit fiddly, and then tie off. Yeah, put a double knot in that. There you are. Got plenty of wire, so we're all right. Set those up upside down like that, and then we need to put a big circle on their top, look, with a knot in the top, so when we've got everything done we can just pull it and it will tighten it up. Then we take some, remember this fluffy stuff we got? We take some of that, about that length I think. I can't break that, so I'll have to cut it. There you go. That'll go in there. Just popping it in for now, in the circle, and that's a decent piece. We'll put that in. Don't worry about these long pieces. And if there's one more, this one. We'll put these two together, look, and put that in that way. I'm putting them in between the cones, or on top of between the cones. Don't worry about that. So that's like that. Can you see? 1, 2, 3. Then we take a bit of blue spruce. Now remember, this is upside down, so that the spruce needs to be upside down. So turn it over. This is just a piece I've cut off, look. So it, and no need to trim them. Put one there and one there. Just assist it, there you are. Then take your two wires, now you can see why we need a lot of wire, and pull. Remember, not too much, so you just cut them off. And then round and pull. When you turn it over, you've got that effect, and then that can be tied onto the ring. I collect all my cones from the woods. It's one of the beauties of living in an area where there are woods. But this year the weather hasn't been very good for cones, and I've been up there weeks ago looking ready to collect them, and most of them are rotted, so I've actually bought these in. But they're quite nice because they've got cinnamon and orange on them, so it's giving that nice smell. There you are. You see, it didn't really matter about them spiky bits, does it? So let's put some on. What I tried to do is, we'll be putting that one there. There's that space we're sort of trying to reserve for the ribbon. But we put those on, if possible, into the centre of those, like that. But that's what we're looking for. So we'll get these on. Now with the cones you have to really pull these tight, and this is where my fingers tend to give up, so I have a pair of pliers, and really as tight as you can, because if you don't, the cones will wobble, and they're not so good if they're wobbling about. So it's the same as before, look. Cut it to length, and then those two bend over and push into the straw, make it safe. Then we come back, tidy up. If you take your fingers and fluff everything up, you'll find that they sit quite well. I'll do that one and that one, then show you with all the cones on. You can't have a holly ring without ivy in it as well. If you remember, I collected some ivy out the woods, and we're just going to use the, well, they're not flowerheads, they're actually berries of the ivy. They'll last longer. If you use the leaves of the ivy, within a week they're black. To make the groups up that we're going to use, we'll get some conifer down like that. Now what we do, we put 3 of these in, but that's how I cut them off the holly, off the ivy. That's how I cut them off the ivy. And I literally just take the leaves off. If you put these on, not so good. Now we've got to have a leaf at the back of them. So can you remember that holly that's got no prickles on it? We break one of those off that's got 3 at the top, and we're going to use that on there. The other thing we use is some of this spruce, well, it's actually juniper, that's a bit fluffy. I like to call them fluffy, but can you see, put that on? That's nice. This is where my hands are not so good. So we'll lift that one off, put that one on. Just part them a little bit like that. Put these 3 on, 1 up, 2 down. This is where I need to grab it. This is where you need 4 hands, I think. Make sure you've got everything in your hand. Spread those out like that. Yeah. Put these in. 1 up. Can you see? 2 down. Like that. Yeah. There's got to be 3, haven't there? And then some more of this juniper on. And then remember the euonymus I said we do? We put a bit of euonymus in there as well. At the moment it looks a bit crunched up, but don't worry. A wire in your hand, long tail, and 1, 2, 3, and then that should, he said, that's it, should be able to tie. And then we tie that, just one, not too tight, don't chop them off, but we'll double knot it because I don't want it slipping. And then with the secateurs we just cut that off there, look. I think that will do us what we want, because that is going to go in there like that, you see. So we'll get these tied on. Now we've actually made 3 of these. This is the one we just made, so we'll put this one on first. And these I put in to the side of the holly clusters. So you've got holly and ivy. Now it's not easy, so just keep going until you get it in the right position. Like that. I'm happy with that there. So now these have to be tight, because you're really going to pull it into that conifer, etc. in the back, the holly and the conifer. So this is where I have to use the pliers. I can't pull with my hands. Right, really pull it tight so it doesn't slip. Twist it round and then turn it over and wind it down. That won't slip now. Snip it off. And turn it over and push it in through the straw. Now you can see that it's just showing that ivy next to the holly. That's what we're after. Just fluff it with your hands, make it look nice. So put one there, and one there. So I'll do that and come back to you then. That's those 3 ivy clusters in. And now this is for my daughter-in-law, and she is given the choice whether she wants baubles in, and she says yes, so we'll put baubles in. Make a circle if you can. Now these baubles I put on the wire through the loops at the bottom, and I actually stick them together, look, because it's a little job I do indoors at night. It stops them flopping about all over the place, and it keeps them nice and tidy. Make the loop the same as we did with the pine cones, and these we just put through on the 3 again between the gaps. Don't worry about the bit sticking out, and pull that down, not too tight, so it's like that, look. And that we'll follow up with another knot to stop it slipping, but this has got a joint in it for some unknown reason. We got it. That's it. These will go in there somewhere. Now we put the ivy to the right of the clusters, so these will go to the left, and they will go, trust me. If you get them in, and then we'll sort them into the right place, look. Something like that, I think. Yes. We can always move them slightly from side to side once they're in, but we'll get them in. The usual. Make sure the wires are out of harm's way. And bend over. There you go. Let's have a look. We just sort the job out now. Look, we'll sort the ring out, make sure all the hollies etc. are up. And they're all blended together, you see, like that. Get your hollies, especially the variegated, the right way round. Right, I'll get these others on and then I'll come back to you. Now, that's the holly ring complete, apart from the ribbon, which we'll make next. Now, you can add lemon slices or orange slices that have been dried, cinnamon sticks, whatever you want you can put into that. We can't do that because the rings that we have hanging on the house are not covered, so all the elements get on them, and those things don't do very well in the rain. But if you've got a covered porch, then yes, put them on. The ribbons, these are only the 4 I actually have. Diane likes the gold. We have one lady who just likes this one. Normally I use the red, and I'll use the red today on this one. Now, to make the ribbons, over the years I've marked off the side of the bench, so I know how long I need them, which is there. That's about 2.5 feet. A bit less than a metre then, isn't it? And just straight through. And then a short one to here. That's about 18 inches, isn't it? We're making the tie. To make the ribbon, go halfway and take that over and on like that. Take that one over, so they're about the same, not like that. And you've got the 2 tails there. And then what I do, I fold and fold and fold, so the bottom where the legs are folded last, you see. Then this is where you need somebody with you to hold it. Now, to make the ribbon, we don't need it that thick, so what we'll do is take that in half, and then with your ribbon like that, you put that across the middle, turn it over, 2, pull, not pulling too tight, but just tidy it like that. Yeah, that's fine. And then you want to tie it so that the ribbon is that way when you're done. Yeah, so it's like that, look. And then pull it. So there's the ribbon with its, just tidy it a little bit. And then, now if you remember, we had a little bit more space on this one than that one and that one. So the ribbon's got to go here somewhere to balance it off. So we'll put it in there. It can go through, not that way, it's upside down. Put it in there. It can actually wrap around a lot of the ring, but the conifer, etc., and a bit of holly, it doesn't matter if it goes around those. But we just need to put that there in the centre, turn it over, and knot it. That should be enough in there. Then we take this piece of ribbon, and this is, let's be a bit careful now, because you have to put that through underneath the wire to make a hole, because we need to push this ribbon through that, like that, you see. If you pull the ribbon round, so you've got a loop at the top, and then we tie this onto these like that. There's 2 of them to tie, they won't take long. 1, and this one on there. You've got to have it really tight to make sure it doesn't swing about and snap. On there, then we just cut these tails off and that's it, it's finished. cut these tails off. Now you've got a loop to hang the holly ring up. I'll show you here, look, you see? Now, what I do is I take these tails or bottoms, whatever, and I cut them at an angle upwards like that. And that is your holly ring looking for a door to hang on. My daughter-in-law, or son anyway, they asked me for a door ring and a grave ring, what they want for her father. So this is the grave ring that will match that one. Now, to do the grave ring, I do 5 clusters with small cones and 5 berries. So space those around. The ivy goes on the same, and I make sure there's plenty of holly around the edge so it sits flat to the floor when they put it on the grave. Obviously no ribbons go on these, but it is, I mean, that took quite a while to do that. This takes a little longer. So a lot of work goes into a grave ring. So there's the pair. There you are, that's the holly ring finished and hung up. And there's the grave ring finished now. We're just, now that'll be it for this week. I'm sorry it was a long one, but I really did need to show you every stage of making a holly ring, so you can make yours now. Good luck everyone, and don't forget to go foraging, speak to your neighbour, probably give them a holly ring or let them come and make theirs with you. Then you'll get freedom of the more material. Enjoy, and we'll see you in a few days. Bye now.